We are not built the same way. Okay, so I should probably put on a shirt. All right. Put on this shirt that my dad gave me. My Alcatraz shirt, because it's what living in Brooklyn feels like. Trying to escape from Alcatraz, aren't ya? Okay, that's way much better. My padded bra so that people don't see my giant knocker tits that offend people at church when I don't wear a bra. Like it's offensive, so I had to buy a bra. hmm So, I don't know. Like this feels so stupid. Doing the live stream feels so like pointless. And okay, so there was I had two interviews today. Nobody's listening to this. Why am I doing this? I'm just gonna turn this off. This is just dumb. Or maybe I should keep going with it. I don't know. You guys are watching from all ends, but I'm just gonna start with like these candies are so delicious, by the way. I'm gonna eat one because right now I'm feeling like I have a sweet tooth. These are actually salty, spicy, and then they get sweet later. Multilinguality. Uh, like so I had two interviews today, and the first one, well, first of all, let me start off with I live on an island, okay? Brooklyn, New York is an island, and it is very ghetto. I mean, there are people that make a lot of money here, but they probably don't make that much money, or they have to have multiple dwellings in different cities in order to continue making the amount of money that they do, because it's probably difficult for them to go up the ladder with the amount of pressure that there is job wise here, which is completely like I empathetically understand that. But I want to talk about what happened to me today that was kind of like a hate crime. It was a hate crime from the second employer that I had today was on video call, and I'm thinking about whether I should put her name. I don't want to put her name on here because you know, right now Latin American people are going through a lot. There's a huge fucking border wall that creates a lot of issues for people. And you know, I wasn't born in this country. I was born in Eastern Europe. But for them, there are just a lot of interferences when it comes to, when it comes to like their triggers about white people and about like them taking over and changing things up a little bit or something like that. I don't know. I'm just like a woman here. I'm just living my life. I'm just literally reacting and going through everything. But yeah, I was born in Ukraine, raised in the States. I was raised in New Jersey. First, we moved to Jackson Heights, and then I guess we moved to New Jersey, and I had most of my education in the same town that Bruce Springsteen grew up in. But yeah, the interview was going pretty well for the first few minutes, where I was being honest about, like, kind of um, where I worked and how I worked at preschools. And this was for like a preschool taking care of children position. And I don't have a job right now. I literally don't have any money. I'm on my mom's change. Literally, I brought loose change to the train station to put money on my Omni card. So I am broke. And my mom is very, very nice, but she's giving me 2 months to stay here, and she's a little bit delusional. Like, she's an artist, but I can't advertise her art. So a lot of people here are like, oh, why aren't you helping your mom with her artwork? She does so much artwork. She's so amazing. Yeah, she is amazing. She's really talented. She is great at what she does, but I'm not allowed to. I'm forbidden. It's forbidden. She doesn't let me. I'm not allowed to, like, post anything, help her sell, make YouTube videos about things like that. And so I end up being this, like, keeper, protector who, like, I don't really know exactly what kind of scenario she's trying to create, but she has like she has an amazing talent, and that's basically all she does when she's not at work doing hair. And that's probably what she should be famous for. But if you have time, look up Yelena Ned art. Her paintings are for sale. Like I said, I'm not allowed to even be talking about this, so that's out of the question. But yeah, my mom and I live together. We're both single. It's pretty sad. The situation is not good. My dad, I don't want to talk about him, but we're very concerned with his level of disinterest in helping us in any way, or even being there for us. I don't know. He's getting old, I guess. He's like 70. So he turned 70 this year and retired. But yeah, let's get back to what that employer said to me. So we were having a video call. I was explaining to her how I worked at different preschools and how at one of the preschools I was fired and for what reason. And so I was explaining all of these different things and how, like, I didn't initially want to go into childhood education because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was an undeclared major. I knew I wanted to do something. I knew that I had a lot of passion, which I do. I'm an intense person. But I didn't know exactly that I would be 33 years old and here today and talking about how, like, there is a war going on in the country I was born in, and how it has to do probably with jealousy and hatred of people that I suppose are taller, not necessarily, like, more attractive or anything, but like just like a taller white people race that, like, a lot of people in the United States assume to be like superior, like think they're, have you ever heard the phrase that like, oh, you think you're better than us? You think like, no one thinks you're better. No one thinks, I never said I'm better than you. I don't think I'm better than you. So that kind of mindset is actually very evident in a lot of the employers today. Like they actually have this instinctual reaction to be like, oh, you think that you're better than me. No, I don't. I don't think that I'm better than you. I would never think that way. I would never say that. I'm actually unemployed and submissive and probably worth shit. So, yeah, so let's talk about that. So, at the end of the video call, before I hung up on her, she told me, "We clean you." She literally said to me, quote, "We clean you," unquote. And I have dealt with so much shit in New York, in the city already. I was attacked, I was pushed and thrown to the ground and kicked in the city for being a white female with short hair. I had like a very short haircut at the time, and this guy with a balding hairline, this brown dude, like, I don't know, half black, literally went up to me and just started attacking me, like off of like 36th, 37th Street, in front of like between Urban Outfitters and I think it was either Shake Shack or Chipotle, something like that. And so as soon as she said like, "We clean you," I hung up, and she texts me, "Hello," and I don't respond. And then she emails me, "Are you going to hop back onto the video call?" And I basically send her an email back saying, "That's so unprofessional. Like, why would you say that to me? Like, are you trying to scare me? What was the point of you telling me we clean you? Like, were you translating for me? Like, why would you pretend like you're trying to hire somebody?" Or maybe she would have hired me had I not said anything. But why would I want to deal with that level of abuse and bullying? So I thought that was rather fascinating and creepy. And I don't really know what to think. It's rather disconcerting, and I think she should seek mental help, to talk to a psychotherapist about how she has these spews of negative feedback to people that she's interviewing for the job as an assistant teacher at a preschool. Like, and I know, like, I'm not saying that competition does this to people, but like, I don't think it's her fault that this happened to her, but I just think that the timing of when this came out of her mouth had to do with like the amount of money that she's getting paid compared to the amount of money that the person she's interviewing doesn't get paid at all, until she makes the decision to allow someone to join her like job clan or not, and but why do we ask, why do job applications ask people if they're Hispanic or Latino, like to the point where she maybe felt threatened by my existence? Maybe she felt threatened because she's just a regular person. She's just a regular person reacting to like a large person from a completely different side of the world, trying to make any kind of money on stolen land, essentially, and I try to explain this to my parents, and they're divorced. They don't, I mean, as soon as they got here, their relationship hit the fan. Like the shit hit the fan, and they they couldn't even be together anymore. They started to hate each other in this country. And the atmosphere here is so different from Eastern Europe for me. I visited when I was a teenager, and I can recall that, you know, uh, here there is some kind of an atmospheric like push to almost like get mad at people. I don't know how to, maybe it's just like a New York thing, but like it seems like the reason why crime is so high in the United States on like the East Coast at least, because I tried to live on the West Coast, and I mean they're just so intolerant that like they don't even like give me, they don't even like want to interview me. But no, I mean like I was interviewed there too. I just never got the job. But here I'm basically having the same issues that I had on the West Coast. Maybe it's a North America thing. But yeah, I do think it has to do with that border wall being there, and it just like freaks them out and makes them really angry at like all white people, like it's white people's fault. And like I don't think I had anything to do with that wall being there. At least like I hope not. But the situation that's happening in Ukraine just is way more, like familiar territory to me, and strikes my heart more easily right now because obviously that's my genetics. That's the part of the world that I was born in. But for her to say we clean you is like, it has to be the US doing it. These people are violent. So it creeps me out. Like, it creeps me out that, like, there's so much pressure for me to make money here and, make a living and move out and live on my own and start a family. But it's like, you know, I'm, I'm not even like of the tallest people, but I am intense, and I can't seem to like find friends on my level, and that's worrisome to me because they don't even give you a chance here to have a job if you're like an Americanized immigrant, you know what I mean? Which is what I am. I'm like super Americanized. And so like physically they assume that I'm fresh off the boat or like fresh off the airplane, and like I've only been here for a couple of years sometimes. But actually, like I've been here almost my whole entire life. Like I've been here since I was a toddler. And I've worked in toddler classrooms since I was 15 years old. So I do think that she got jealous and spun, like her mind spun out of control and just blurted it out because she decided she was going to have a fun day for herself and like live out her fantasy world of things going wrong, but like in a cute way, because she could tell right away that like I'm a good person at the end of the day. So I think she just like wanted to extract my juices a little bit to like pump things up in this country a little bit. I don't know. It's so bizarre though that she would say that. Like, are you trying to scare me? Like, and it's not the first time. When I worked as a home health aide, I had a senior citizen lady from Poland tell me that I wasn't going to go home that night because I wouldn't buy her cigarettes, and she was going to call one of her sons to kill me before I got home because I wouldn't buy her cigarettes. Because as a home health aide, it's your job to go and buy people cigarettes when they're like, basically like on their deathbeds. Like, I'm not going to go ruin your lungs and make the situation even worse for you right now, you know? But like, yeah, she did drive me to the point where I went out and bought her cigarettes, but not ever, like, I couldn't do it all the time. I couldn't get myself to. But yeah, I mean, that was today. A very similar situation happened on this calendar, you know, on this day in history. I'm talking to myself here. No one's at this chat. I think it's embarrassing for her that she let go and actually, like, I like, as you, obviously she doesn't respect me, you know, and I respected her until she said that to me, you know, which is why I hung up. Because, like, I mean, I've dealt with bullshit before. Like, I don't have to deal with bullshit, even in the professional world, even if I'm trying to get the job. They try to slave you out. They try to get you to be like, oh, yes, yes, let me take it up the ass. Let me just pretend like she didn't just say we clean you. Like, oh, and then she emailed me back saying that she never said any such thing, which is so funny to me because that's the last email that she sent. And I was like, yes, yes, you did. And I emailed back, yes, you did, period, because she did, you know. So, I mean, I guess that happened. That happened today. And it's just, she's a discriminatory woman. She's just one of those people that just can't stand white people. She's one of them. Um, but I love her people. Maybe I don't love her, but you know, I if she apologized to me, I would forgive her. But she's in denial. She's saying I never said such a thing. That's what makes it crazy. Is that she lying? Like, why would I make something like that up? Like, you flat out said that to me at my job interview with you. And I tried to call the company. Like, I tried to call Play 2 and be like, hey, you know, this woman just death threatened me, but they didn't, no one picked up. So, yeah, I mean, it's a true story, though. Yeah, this place can get very ghetto. Brooklyn is New York City. I mean, you think it's all fun and games until you're actually living here and you're like, oh snap. It's actually very hard to like live here or whatever. I find the American community to be like, in terms of people, I really like them and I can make friends with them very easily. But sometimes there are people that just don't like me. Like, there's always that one girl that like just doesn't like me for whatever reason, and I don't really know what to say because it's like I prefer to be friends with everybody, you know, but like for you to just not like me, like, I mean, I can't really like say anything to that. That's your choice. And also in terms of money, like they don't really want to pay you, you know, because the whole citizenship thing going on, like they're not going to want to hire you if you're like of the people that like would even think about creating currency or whatever, even though it was like a mutual negotiate. Supposedly it was a mutual negotiation among everybody, but I think it's very disturbing that the US is doing this to the country I was born in. I think that they're going way out of hand with it. They're taking it too far because people are dying. People I don't know. People that I do know, people that are my family members. I mean, the same thing is happening that happened in Vietnam. The same thing that happened in the Middle East. The same thing that's still happening in the Middle East. The same thing is happening in Europe now because of the US. Like, it's kind of sad that they're having young soldiers enlist and act like this and behave in such ways because everybody's desperate for money and they're convinced to do it. Um, Thinking that it's going to be like a fun game. Like, it's not a game. Like, you're a serial killer now. You don't even know what you just signed up for. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like I try to make money, and it's like they're like, you're cool, we're gonna be friends, I'm gonna give you some of my stuff, but I'm not gonna hire you. Like, in terms of like you having a roof over your head, we're not gonna let you. We're not gonna let you do that. We want you to be on the street, and it's gruesome. В США очень тяжело. Очень тяжело. Интенсным людям здесь очень тяжело. Здесь опасные тени. Креветки здесь опасненькие. Они не хотят, чтобы ты жил как нормальный человек. Trust me. I have first-hand experience with it. It is very hard. Yeah. I guess I'll do green. And it's interesting how, like, this whole, like, people actually think that, like, white entitlement exists, and it doesn't. Maybe it does for, like, the Americans that, like, came here on a boat that, like, have housing and whose families lived in the same house generation to generation. But, like, bitch, I'm an immigrant. I wasn't born here. Who the fuck are you saying you're gonna clean? Bitch, I have firsthand, like, my parents worked like fucking slaves for y'all to threaten me like that. The fuck is you, bitch? Sometimes that part of me comes out and it's like just another day with racist people who don't want you to work because they think you should go through the same thing that their ancestors and current relatives have to go through. It's like I had nothing to do with the freaking slave trade, man. I wasn't even born in this side of the world. It's disgusting that you would treat people like that. I don't even know what kind of makeup I'm giving myself. Um, so, money issues. Ridiculous. Chronicles of ridiculousness. If I was petite, like fun sized, like a reindeer, I would have no problem finding a job somewhere. It's just easier for them. It really is. I don't like this song. How's this? He got fired today. I guess he doesn't want to talk about it. But yeah, you know what? I feel like they're firing people these days because they're giving managers too much power. Like, once the manager finds out a bit of personal information about their employee, they just like choose to judge and make assumptions about their employee's character. That's wrong. That's not what should be happening. I don't want to hear this song. That's terrible. So, let's talk about how my hair is blonde at the ends. Isn't that so weird? Like, it's burnt out blonde from lice remover and the elements of being in the peninsula, the Olympic Peninsula. So I swam in like lakes and oceans all of last year and the year before. And I spent time in California and I got this blonde highlighted type hair effect thing. And it looks like this. Where the roots are dark, it's not dyed, it's natural. This is my natural hair. What do you think? I think my face looks uneven. I'm pretty self conscious about that. No one's even listening to this. No one's watching this. I don't even know why I'm here. Like, what is the point of this? Apocalyptica. Oh, I think it's like a. Anyway, I don't really like that song. Strange tongues that I don't know. Sometimes music sounds good and you don't understand the language, but other times music sounds like you don't understand the language and it's not really that good, like personally. And this is one of those times where I'm like, yeah. So with that song, I don't really want to hear it. No offense, but just like that's just how I interpreting what just happened there with the Spotify. But I do feel bad that my mom, like, has to deal with my like moving back in and stuff, and her thinking that, there is like a right guy out there and that it's better off being single because it's probably not. It's probably not better off being single. You're probably better off being in a relationship. But if the relationship doesn't suit you, then yeah, how could it be better to be in a relationship, right? It's so weird that a potential employer gave me a death threat today and then like brushed it off and tried to erase it. Like, I have to be scared you're going to clean me. You're going to clean me. Lady, I'm not scared like for my life, trust me. You're not in charge of my life at all. You're just a racist. You're just a racist person. That's all you are. Now people at your job will know that you say that to potential employees. I do want people to find love. Like, I do want to find love, but, you know, I just feel like most of the people in like Brooklyn and Manhattan and stuff are like kind of, you know, not really my size, not really people that like I would want to mate with, not really my kind of guys. And the kind of guy when I do see the kind of guys that I would like I've tried hitting on people and it doesn't work out. Like I just fail miserably. But the times that like it's been successful, like online, meeting people online, they just end up being total weirdos. And I'm not perfect. I'm a weirdo myself, but like there's you just really don't have a lot of options here. You really don't. Even if you have a type, like and you're from Eastern Europe and you're like tall, like, and you know, the intense stature. It's I don't know. It's hard for me to meet people here, and I've been here since like 2012. I've seen attractive guys, but like I don't know. I guess they're just used to people coming up to them and giving them what they want when they want it. But like I don't really find that they are ever really interested in me enough to like stop and take the chance to like ask me out. Like that was something that was happening when I visited Ukraine. But once again, like I said, I was only a teenager when I was over there and there were people interested in me already. So maybe I would have like had a baby by now and a family had I stayed there, which I wanted to do when I was there, but I chose not to because I was like, oh yeah, you know, life in the United States, like it's more diverse, you have more options. But no, it's actually really hard here and really hard to find your people. So that's just what they do. They just get really exclusive. All right, I think I'm just gonna go because I feel like I'm talking to myself. Goodbye, folks.